before Butler arrived. They're better, but they were a great defensive team without Jimmy Butler. They were a mediocre to poor offensive team without Butler, and they were a top 7 offense in the time since Butler got traded. In part, and we saw this tonight, because Stephen Curry, and no superstar, but even Steph can't do it on his own. So Amen Thompson and all those other defenders for the Rockets can hone in on Steph Curry. They can make his life a lot harder. He doesn't have another superstar to turn to. It's part of the reason they were able to shut him down as strong, but really confound Steph in a way they couldn't in Game 1. When Jimmy's out there, you can't balance as a defense trying to stop both those guys, and they play off each other so effectively. It's huge for the Warriors. It's huge for Steph Curry.
Can the Warriors win this series without Jimmy Butler III?
Great question. They can win the series, and they probably won't win the series without Jimmy Butler if he were not to play. And I say that as someone who, in all the predictions we do here on CBS Sports HQ and just as sports fans, who was the most sure of this pick when I said the Warriors would beat the Rockets, for all the reasons that were evident until Jimmy Butler went down. And I knew they were down in that game, but with Butler, it's just a different Warriors team. They have more experience. They're able to exploit in a lot of ways the fact that the Rockets have not played this kind of basketball. But Houston's incredible physically, dirty or otherwise. They are the best offensive rebounding team in the country. They are big, they are long, they are tough. Those are all things Jimmy Butler helps to combat. So yes, Akeem, can they beat them? Yes. Are they likely to? I think the odds flip from being very heavily likely the Warriors win a good series to the other way around.
Got a few days to rest up. Hopefully, for Golden State's sake, it's enough for Jimmy Butler. We'll see about that as the series moves to San Francisco on Saturday. Happy to go back home with a split. Houston had to earn it in Game 2. After only 7 points in Game 1, Jalen Green showing up big in Game 2. 38 points, including 8 made threes, Bill. What was different for Jalen Green in this game?
Different day of the week. He's one of the streakiest. He's one of the streakiest shooters in the NBA. Şengün is not going to go create his own shot. The guys that do that are maybe Amen Thompson and Jalen Green, if he can get in rhythm. And he got the second bucket of the day, minute and a half into this basketball game. Doesn't seem like a big moment, but he hit that first shot, and he's the kind of player, hits his first 2 shots, he's lights out. Misses his first few shots, gets a little cold, he struggles. He struggled in Game 1. He didn't in this game because, Akeem, he's one of the streakiest guys out there, and the streak played to his benefit and the Rockets' benefit tonight.
Rockets had more threes in the first half of Game 2 than all of Game 1. They finished with 15 in the victory. Do you think Houston can sustain this in a 7-game series?
I think that they can sustain the level that they need to play at to beat the Warriors, as we discussed, if there's no Jimmy Butler. But no, they can't sustain this level of offense. They're good, they're fine offensively, they're okay offensively, but they don't have, again, a single guy. You know that Donovan Mitchell is going to be that guy if you're playing the Cavs. You know that Stephen Curry is going to be that guy if you're playing the Warriors. Go down almost every team that has a chance to be outstanding. You don't know who that is in Houston. You don't know who's going to go get you buckets with 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter of a close game. If we get to that point over the course of this series or another series, Jalen Green is one of the answers, and Thompson's one of the answers, and Van Vliet's a veteran, but he couldn't buy a bucket in Game 1. So no, they're going to be inconsistent as a shooting basketball team in terms of shooting percentage and efficiency, because they have been all year. If they're going to win, they're going to have to do it in the margins on offensive rebounding. They're going to have to do it points in the paint, get down transition, confounding Steph Curry, and they're going to have to do it with a little bit of luck. And you don't want anyone to get hurt, but from the Rockets' point of view, Jimmy Butler playing would be a pretty nice break if you're Houston.
Rockets have to do something they have never done before. That's beat the Warriors in a playoff series. Houston 0-4 all-time in playoff series against the Warriors. Series tied at 1 game apiece. Moves to San Francisco on Saturday. Bill Ryder here on CBS Sports HQ. Appreciate it, my friend.
You know, there's really no time to even feel any emotion. You just respond and react with what you have to do in terms of, you know, making a sub and trying to think about new substitution patterns, who you want to pair together, all that kind of stuff. So obviously feel terrible for Jimmy. Hopefully he's okay. We'll see. He's going to get an MRI tomorrow. And BP, really proud of him for making the effort. You know, he's been feeling terrible all day, and he tried. He got an IV at halftime. Just didn't have it. So tough night. We'll bounce back.
Talk to Jimmy at all?
Yeah.
I mean, are you optimistic, or are you just kind of?
You know, Jimmy always says he's going to be fine. I mean, but we have to wait to see with the MRI.
What did you think of the foul, or, you know, how he went down? Did you think it was in?
I haven't seen the replay. I asked our guys behind the bench, and they just said it looked like there was some physicality on the rebound, and I think Thompson just inadvertently found himself underneath Jimmy just based on the tug of war that was going on there. So I mean, we didn't think there was anything wrong with the play. It's just one of those plays.
What did you generally think of just kind of the physicality and tension that seems to be rising in this series?
Yeah, Houston played great. They were really
hot in the first quarter. Got pretty contentious. What were you talking about there? What was your?
Just the usual stuff, It's playoff time. Everybody's hyped up. I think I was mad because Gary got tripped. Gary had a dunk, clearly got tripped, and I thought there should have been a foul called, and it wasn't. But the stuff happens, and I thought tonight's game was all about Houston just outplaying us.
Did you say anything to Draymond after that fourth quarter? It seemed like he got a little chippy.
I haven't talked to Draymond yet. So he's a competitor. He's always going to be in the mix, and so I'll ride with Draymond forever. I mean, the guy's an amazing winner and competitor, and it's not ideal when a crowd is chanting "F you, Draymond." It's just I don't know. I mean, it did in Boston a few years ago in the finals. It is what it is.
That's something that you guys talk about prior to.
I'm sorry?
That's something you guys talked to Draymond about prior to the games.
No, he's been around forever. Remember that, the guy has kids, and, it's like there's kids. I don't know. Maybe I'm old school, but I'm all for the fans cheering for their team, and if they want to yell at the opponents, great. But I don't know. I just think FU it's a little much.
Steve, after Jimmy went out, did you notice the Warriors maybe keying on Steph a little bit, or what did you notice from how they defended you
after Jimmy went out?
After Jimmy went out.
Well, they were keyed on Steph anyway. They're going to be really aggressive. They're going to blitz him. Obviously, we've got to be able to counter that. We had too many turnovers against that pressure. So they were blitzing him, and they got the ball out of his hands a little bit. And we weren't able to counter and generate enough good offense to win the game.
Obviously, you've always got to be ready to play, even if you're out of the rotation. Did you feel like Jonathan was ready? What did you see from him?
Yeah, Jonathan was ready. He's been great. He's been preparing every single day, keeping a great attitude. Game one, he was on the bench cheering the entire.
Chị Lan Anh ơi, có người gọi. Hàng lưỡi.